Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio Channel KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible, and more. Because I'm on a happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So I want as many major platforms to broadcast from, because there's just a lot of unhappy people out there. And that actually started not because of COVID. That was hashtag BC19. The time before COVID is how I'm coining it. And so that's what this show's about. Ways to feel good about your life, to feel good about your relationships, to feel good about your livelihood, and about the world. So today is no exception, and I hope you had an amazing Thanksgiving weekend. We are now in Cyber Monday today, and so we'll start with that because November 29th is traditionally Cyber Monday, although the tradition actually didn't start until not in the 1800s or anything. It started at the height probably of our consumerism, no judgment, but technology and consumerism colliding in Cyber Monday. So what's the history behind Cyber Monday? On November 28th of 2005, Cyber Monday joined the lexicon thanks to a press release in shop.org. They announced a marketing revolution with the title Cyber Monday, quickly becoming one of the biggest online shopping days of the year. In 2014, Americans spent an average of $124 per order on Cyber Monday. That's a statistic thanks to nationalday.com. Be forewarned that 42.7% of statistics are made up on the spot. That is a Stephen Wright funny that I just love. And cyber shopping is expected to be up again this year with a predicted $3 billion in sales. And that was the beginning and the end of it. November 29th is also National Electronic Greetings Day today. So it reminds us to greet one another electronically. I know that sounds really weird. I think we take for granted how quickly we've changed from the old days of writing notes and letters. Well, it depends on how old you are. And I'm ageless, but I've heard of those days. They call mailing letters now snail mail because of the relative lack of speed compared to the hit send. I'm not going to say what's better or worse. And some people will say we miss the old days of getting notes in the mail or getting letters in the mail. I'm just going to say today's Happy 88 challenge is just you can text or you can write or you can record, whatever way you can tell someone in your life that you love them. Tell someone in your life that you appreciate them, and then make it specific. So just don't say, I love you, but say, I love the way you, and then fill in the blank. And that is the challenge to celebrate Electronic Greeting Day. And one of the things that I did this wonderful holiday weekend is watched an excellent movie, and I wanted to highlight it. It is Halle Berry's directorial debut. I thought it was beautiful, and those of you who haven't seen it, is released now on Netflix, so you have no reason if you're afraid to go to the theaters. I'm a huge movie buff. And what makes it even more special is I got to interview Halle on the red carpet. And I just saw the social media post with her beau, who I don't think she was dating when I interviewed her. And when I asked her specifically if there was someone, she kind of skipped over it. But I am delighted for her. It sounds like she definitely found someone who brings out the best in her and vice versa. And Van Hunt, thank you for your words about her nature and her heart and her complexity, because I definitely got that same feeling when I interviewed her. And when I was researching to talk about this, I found out that she actually suffered a broken rib in the first or second day of filming with the true featherweight champion, the Russian woman Valentina Shevchenko, and just kept going. She didn't want to lose the funding. She didn't want to. And it reminded me of what she told me in my interview, which is when you're going through hell, keep going. So it sounds like she still follows her own advice. And so to celebrate her movie, I hope you enjoy my interview with Halle Berry. Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah, reporting live here from the beautiful USC building at the City Gala Summit and Gala event. And I have the most beautiful Halle Berry here with me. And I am so honored to be able to have a couple of minutes with you. And so my very first question is, if you take a breath and think back over all your past life in this lifetime, what is your favorite memory? What is your favorite life memory that just sort of makes you feel good?
The births of my children.
The births of your children?
No question.
Yeah, and you have two?
I have two.
And their names are?
Nala and Maceo, and they're 9 and 3.
Beautiful. And what do they, what happens to your heart when you're with them?
It expands. My heart grows day after day after day. When I think I can't love 2 little people more, I wake up the next day and I love them more.
That's
It's amazing.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Now, what do you do when people criticize you? Like when they actually say things, what happens and how do you get yourself out of that?
I just pretend I never heard it and keep it moving. That's
All right.
where I'm at this point in life.
Yeah.
To hear that and keep going. I learned not to let anyone's real criticism of me sort of stop my flow. I'm open to constructive criticism because I always want to learn and grow. But sometimes there's criticism that feels mean in nature and in spirit, and that kind of criticism I just, like a duck, I let it roll off.
Right. Do you have like a little process that you use that when you wake up and you're not feeling really good? I have a lot of listeners who, they want to be positive, they want to feel good, but sometimes they just feel bad, and that critic in the head is going. What do you do?
I have a little affirmation book that I keep usually by my bed. I often read different affirmations either before I go to bed to have that on my mind, or I wake up and read something really positive. A lot of things from the Dalai Lama.
I love the Dalai Lama.
Those kind of spiritual little snippets sort of are a good way to start the day, I find.
That's beautiful. Have you ever heard of Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith?
Yes.
From Agape?
Absolutely.
He says hello, and he had a dream about you just before I was told that I got to interview you.
Really?
Is that weird?
Wow.
Wow. Exactly. Well, that'll be wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, when you are going about your day and whatever you're doing, do you have like a life motto that you use like mine's don't die wondering? So what do you use?
If you're going through hell, keep going. That's
Beautiful.
mine.
Beautiful. That is really beautiful. So do you have any favorite people on the planet that you would like to meet, if I can get them on the show and have you on at the same time? Anybody that you haven't met that you'd like to meet?
That are alive?
Uh-huh.
I really like to meet. I would probably love to meet. I've met a lot of people. I've been
bet
lucky
you
enough
have.
in my life to
That's
meet
it.
a lot of people that I've dreamed of meeting.
Yeah. I could throw who's cute that you would like to meet?
As Is it a man?
Or you're not going there?
I better stay away from that question.
Yeah, I could say you heard it here first.
Yeah. I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of people that I really, that have been role models of mine or icons in their industry. I've been lucky that way, so I can't think of anyone.
Okay.
I got to meet Nelson Mandela, that was huge for me. So I've gotten to meet some really important people.
Beautiful. So last question. What is your secret of happiness?
I think, happiness can be a very elusive thing. I think we ebb and flow with happiness. And I've learned that when I'm feeling happy, to cherish that time. Because another valley is just around the corner that we all have to work our way through. That's what life is all about. So my secret is cherishing when I feel happy and never forgetting what it feels like.
Beautiful. Last thing, if you could look in the camera and do a peace sign for me. My sign off is it's all about balance. Peace in and peace out. Thank you so much for the interview and the words of wisdom. And I also should have asked you what you use for skincare because you look fabulous.
Aww.
You do look
Thank you.
ageless. But thank you so
do
much.
you. So do you. Thank you.
And yes, I am a pretty good judge of people, and I have to say the bad press that she's gotten is completely unfair. And I still follow that rule. If you cannot say anything nice about someone, just shut the front door. So I continue to be a big fan. And if you'd like to see more fabulous red carpet interviews with incredible people, please do free subscribe to my YouTube channel, where you will find lots of wonderful actors, actresses, musicians, and authors. And I'm just so grateful that I have an amazing cadre of past guests and interviews on the carpet, as well as special series between Radio for Our Deaf Community series, as well as Sexual Healing with Dr. Marissa. So please do free subscribe, Dr. Marissa, on YouTube, so you can get an alert at 8 a.m. every morning for my morning show and all of the rest. When we come back, I am delighted to bring you the answer to the question of the day. It's almost Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas coming up, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa. So this whole holiday season sometimes brings out the blues, as they call them. And I'm a big proponent of not staying in the blues. It's good to feel sad because that's part of being human, but staying there for days is not good for your health, nor is it good for my Happy 88 mission. So when we come back, I'm going to answer, how do I get out of the holiday blues? Here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on CNBC News, NBC News, and NBC Sports Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, www.kcaaradio.com. My YouTube channel, as I described earlier, as well as all of the major platforms. So there's really no excuse for you not to be happy 88% of the time. And because it is the holidays, I want to celebrate with my Happy Meal. It is a Happy 88 meal. It's a value of $88. It includes all of my happiness products, my children's book, Mommy, What Are Feelings, my audio book to 8 Ways to Happiness, my 21-day fast from complaining, some original music, as well as my Tai Chi download, my moving meditation that promotes inner peace one breath at a time. So that's an $88 value for only $28. Please go to drmarissa.life, and it's the first item in the shop. Easy to do. And the best part is proceeds go to my 501c nonprofit called 8 Ways to Happiness that helps kids, teens, and young adults who have temporarily forgotten their birthright to happiness. So you're doing a win-win there, helping me out. If you want to further help me out, and you shop on Amazon for your holiday shopping, all you need to do is go to Smile Amazon, choose 8 Ways to Happiness, and Amazon for every purchase will give me a little bit for my nonprofit. All right? Thanks so much. Xie. That's actually Mandarin for thank you. No, not S-H-I-T, it's S-H-E-A. All right. And we are now officially into the holiday season. Happy Hanukkah. For those of you who don't already know, my mom was unofficially adopted by a Russian Jewish woman. So her name was Anna Blum. So she was my grandma, Grandma Blum, and I had a Grandpa Carl, and I have an Aunt Penny, Aunt Ethel, Aunt Elaine, Aunt Laney, an Uncle Moishi, and Uncle Marty. And so I actually celebrated Hanukkah and also got to hide the matzah, do high holidays. So I want to make sure that side of my family knows that I'm wishing them a happy Hanukkah, I should say. Wishing them a happy Hanukkah, if I say that correctly. And as well, happy Kwanzaa to those who are celebrating that. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But if you are feeling a little holiday blues, I thought I would answer a question of the day called, how do I get out of the holiday blues? Because, I don't want you to be blue more than maybe half a day. I'll give you half a day. So how do we get out of the holiday blues? First of all, I love reminding people that once you have your day, you do not get it back. So from now until Christmas, if you want to be blue, that's your choice. But I'm going to caution you, every blue day, there's no do-overs. You cannot have this day again. And do you really want to spend an entire day, and we don't know how long we're going to live, really. Every day is precious. And whenever people who I love get ill, it's a reminder for me that everybody knows how much I love them. I got to spend a part of Thanksgiving with my bonus mom, Dolores, who just turned 89, and she had a heart attack early Thanksgiving morning. And so I don't want to waste one day feeling badly about something that I can't change. So let's just call it I can't change. And a lot of this is coming from my book, 8 Ways to Happiness, from wherever you are. The second chapter is out of loss into love, out of loss into faith. And while I remember, your Asian Oprah giveaway today is an audiobook of this, especially chapter 2. So the first 8 people to go to drmarissa.life and put in loss will get a free audiobook link. So holiday blues. How do I get out of the holiday blues? One is recognize that there's no do-overs. Do you really want to choose to feel badly about, let's say, most of the time I would say we're feeling badly because we miss someone, and holidays bring up that missing. So my dad lost his fight to lymphoma, not my bonus dad, but my dad lost his fight to lymphoma back in 2000. So I did spend several years, oh, I miss him so much. And I'm trying to be sensitive about this, but at the same time, I really do feel that many of us bury ourselves in over sadness. Can I say that? Over sadness. Yes, I can say that. And yes, it's true. They're not here, and I miss them, and I miss my dad, and I wish he was here because he was I could fall back into him. But he would not want me to waste an entire month missing him and being sad every day because he's not here. Because I know where he is. He's in heaven and he's loving us from there, just as your loved ones are. So be sad, feel sad, take the breath, hug yourself. Remember that tool we now have thanks to COVID, learning how to hug ourselves, self-care. And then the tool is remembering them whole. So every time you start feeling yourself, remember their last day, their last breath, their last action, your last conversation, and you start getting sad, you can say, oh, I feel sad. I miss them. You can shed a tear or two because tears are the disinfectant that keep your heart soft, which is great. But then I want you to remember them whole. And I do this with my daughters too, when it is the anniversary of my father's passing or Father's Day or his birthday, instead of making it a big funeral once again, I actually tell my daughters some stories, some funny stories or happy stories about my dad, so they get a chance to know him as I remember him whole. So that's a tool. How do I get out of holiday blues? You can, one, make the decision you're not going to lose 30 days. Two, that you're going to remember your loved ones whole. Okay. And then the last one, sometimes people get the holiday blues because they really don't want to see some people in their family that they have to see over the holidays. And I call it playing dysfunctional family bingo. So if you have friends that you want to make a game out of this, you can meet with them and actually plot out all of the ways in which you predict, so-and-so is always going to get drunk. So-and-so is always going to ask me if I'm married yet. So-and-so is always going to have, and see who wins. It takes the zing out of, and then use this expression that always works for me. One is, this too shall pass, right? Second is, everybody does the best that they can. If they could do better, they would, but they can't. And that's just the way they are. And if you expect them to be different this holiday when they've been exactly the same for 100 past holidays, then you're the ding dong, because you're going to the tractor for milk. You're expecting a tractor to give you milk that will never give you milk. So don't go to the tractor for milk. Go find your milk. Go find someone in your family who's more like a caretaking cow. and get your kudos and love and unconditional support from them. All right. So hopefully that answered the question of the day. How do I get rid of my holiday blues? And when we come back, I'm delighted to bring you a spotlight interview with Anson Williams. You all do remember him from Happy Days. He was Potsie, and I had him the first time in my studio. I think I've had him 3 times now, but the first time was during the holidays, and he actually sang. So when we come back on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, CNBC News Radio, KCAA AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Amazon Music, Audible, and more. And I promised you, I'm bringing you Anson Williams. All of you must remember that iconic, very fabulous hit show that many of us grew up with, even the ones that are ageless. So without further ado, here's Potsie. Enjoy.
I am so happy to have today's guest. It's someone who I watched for years and years and years, loved the show. Monday, Tuesday, happy days. And Potsie is here in studio. Anson Williams, he played the beloved character Potsie on the iconic TV series Happy Days. He's a TV director on shows like Melrose Place and Beverly Hills 90210, author, businessman, an acknowledged expert by the LAPD, California Senate, and Congress on the subject of drowsy driving, and his uncle is Uncle Heimlich Maneuver. It's not really Heimlich
That's
Maneuver,
a new name.
There that is. Please welcome to my studio, Anson Williams.
Hello.
Woohoo! Who has a great radio voice, as you're going to be able to tell in one second.
How can you tell?
Have you done any, or you've been asked to?
No, actually, I haven't.
Oh, well,
but,
we're going to have...
Actually, I think that would be fun.
It would be. So,
I like that. I like just being able to converse and,
so we'll have
not
to set
have
you
all
up
the
here.
makeup and all that stuff.
Yeah. Except there is a camera, so you will
Where's
have
my
to have
makeup?
I don't know. Where is your makeup?
Gone.
So what was your favorite part of being Potsie?
Oh my gosh! Actually, the show was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was an amazing break. But more than anything, Happy Days became a college for us. Gary Marshall really wanted to be a teacher in life, and he used Paramount Studios as his college, and he inspired us to not get in the way of ourselves, keep ego at check, and take advantage of being on that lot and learn everything we could about the entertainment business. So I think the reason so many of us are still productive in the industry behind the camera is because of Gary. He inspired us to take advantage of being there, and we had 10 and a half years of it. Wow. So, I've been fortunate in directing, a lot of television, over 300 shows. Wow. But they asked me, did you go to film school? I go, you bet I did. I watched Roman Polanski directing Chinatown on the back lot right next to him. I watched John Schlesinger directing Day of the Locust right next to him. I watched all the Grease musical numbers that were done on the lot right next to the director. That was my college for filmmaking.
Wow.
And all because of Gary. And he also inspired my entrepreneurial skills. He saw a business side of me. And so the show was great, but honestly...
It was a life learning.
It was a life learning experience. It was like getting a PhD in life through Gary.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Is he still around?
No, he passed away.
He did pass.
Just over a year ago.
Well, he can still hear us. So,
but he lives through all of us,
yeah.
and we pay forward his kindness and his. I try on my sets. I try to mentor young people. Try to inspire them to get outside of themselves and to, really take advantage, because most of us won't be actors all of our lives.
Right.
In fact, Gary said, especially you, Anson.
Oh, thank you.
I was never that good, but I always knew I'd end up behind the camera, and I took full advantage.
You were pretty good
on that show. I could do that show. I could do that show.
You were like my favorite.
Well, you had taste.
Yeah. There you go. Sorry, Fonz. Now, do you still keep in touch with
I do.
the cast?
I do. In fact, we just saw each other not too long ago. They changed. They had the first big fundraiser for the Gary Marshall Theater in Toluca Lake. It used to be called the Falcon Theater, but after his passing, they changed it to the Gary Marshall Theater.
Cool
well deserved. Little museum in there, and it's an equity house, and they're doing fantastic shows. And they had a huge fundraiser, and Henry was there, and Don was there, I was there, Marion was there. Ron was, still in London, England, shooting Han Solo. But so we're constantly in touch. Donnie lives 20 minutes from me.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
that is very cool. This is the first time I've heard of the healthy part of Hollywood. Because you hear a lot of, obviously lately, the unhealthy parts of Hollywood.
Hollywood's an illusion. Come on, Hollywood's made up. There's no Hollywood.
Okay.
That's a made up
La
mockery.
la.
It's made up. It's an illusion in people's heads. It sells product. There is no Hollywood. There are hardworking sound stages. But guess what? Most of my work, when I direct, I'm never in Hollywood.
Okay.
I'm in North Hollywood. I'm in Santa Clarita. They've turned all these warehouses into stages. You know, these shoots are so Hollywood. It just so happens that they're well-known people. Being a well-known person, lots of people look in, lots of advertising dollars for networks, and they're gonna promote, you know, Scandal. They're gonna promote all that. So,
it is.
What was the question?
If you've just tuned in and you're wondering who the great voice here that does sound a little bit familiar, it is Potsie from Happy Days, who is way more than Potsie, and we're going to get to know other sides of him today. But you are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa and Anson Williams. So another thing that people don't know, and I didn't know until I got the bio sheet, was you have a relationship to your uncle or your cousin and his Heimlich,
maneuver?
Dr. Heimlich.
Yeah, well, he's actually my second cousin, but ever since I was born, I called him Uncle. And he said, no, call me Uncle Hank. So I call him Uncle Hank. And we became very close. And it just, actually, Happy Days is very responsible for saving many, many lives. Because just circumstantially, Dr. Heimlich was on the set visiting. And he was just starting to promote the Heimlich maneuver. And he was getting a hard time getting national traction. He got some regional traction. But because of the Red Cross and that conflict, he was having a hard time. Just so happened that on the set, while he was there was a phone call from the Merv Griffin show. And I took it. And I had done the show a few times before. Someone had dropped out. And they asked if I'd be available that night, sing a song, and be interviewed.
Okay.
I thought, this is great.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, I'll do it. So I go to Hank. I say, Hank, look, you know, come with me.
Right.
Maybe I can talk to Merv, and maybe we can get the Heimlich maneuver on.
Right.
He goes,
would be great.
well, let's try it.
Yeah.
So we get down to the Merv Griffin Theater there on Vine Street, I think, right here in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I can't find him. I rehearsed the song, can't find him. I'm thinking, well, you know, Hank, you'll watch a great show, but it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I sing. Show starts. I don't think I was first. Whenever I was on, I sing the song, and then you go sit down to get interviewed.
Right.
And there's a commercial, so there's Merv. So I gave him the elevator pitch.
Right.
About and he happened to have heard of it.
Thank
and
goodness.
And he goes, and we come right back up, you know, on air. Unbeknownst to anybody, including his director, he introduces Henry in the audience, stands him up, brings him on stage, and does the Heimlich maneuver on Merv.
Wow.
You know, it went on a few days later. It was pre-taped. Saved so many lives. 3 weeks later, he was on the Johnny Carson show, and it exploded. But that was because of the Happy Days set.
What a great story.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't believe in accidents. So it was just one of those coincidences. Cooperating incidents.
Yeah.
With a friendly universe so that everybody could know about something really important.
Yeah.
And it has saved a lot of lives. And speaking of which, you're not falling that far from your Uncle Heimlich maneuvers tree.
Maneuver.
Yes. With your own work and your own invention that is saving many, many lives. So without further ado, I think you can explain it the best. I was shocked to find out that it's actually drowsy driving kills more people than drunk drivers.
And medicated drivers combined. It's right up there with guns, drunk driving, medicated driving. It's up there in the top 5 catastrophic problems in the United States of America. And no one talks about it.
And no one talks about it.
And
last week was National Drowsy Driving Awareness Week.
Yeah.
So,
well, just to give you an idea of how large this problem is, I think you'll be blown away.
okay.
In 2012, the National Sleep Foundation did a detailed study. They found at least 168 million drowsy drivers a year. 168, million drowsy drivers a year. And there's more. They found out at least 1 out of 5 admitted to falling asleep. More than 1 out of 5 accidents are caused by it, $12 billion a year.
Wow.
More fatalities, more deaths than drunk driving and medicated driving combined. 100,000 hurt people a year, 7,000 deaths. The average age, 18 to 25. Your college kids are not coming home. Families are being torn apart. Husbands aren't coming home. You know, I mean, it is a huge problem. And in fact, New Jersey just made a law. They just made a law as fierce as drunk driving, if they can prove you were drowsy. But so what happened to me, the reason I got involved is because years ago I was directing a show called Slap Maxwell with Dabney Coleman, right here in the local Palmdale Desert. It was a hard day. I was dehydrated. It was just, you know, horrendous day of exhaustion. I'm driving home. Next thing I know, I'm bouncing around in the desert. I almost killed myself.
Wow.
I fell asleep for 3 seconds. That's all it took. Off the road.
Right.
Scared the hell out of me. I talked to Hank about it, Dr. Heimlich, and he said, by the way, Dr. Heimlich was an expert at sensory connection of body, how the body helps the body.
Yeah.
Way, way brilliant. Alert drops came about from my own experience. I fell asleep at the wheel.
I guess we're watching something. Chris found.
Oh, that's the
that
website.
You? Is that?
That was me.
That was
on
you.
The video, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Well,
but what happened was,
you're interrupting yourself.
I'm interrupting myself. So I talked to Dr. Heimlich, and he said, Anson, cut up lemons. He said, and then bite into it hard if you feel yourself getting tired. And he explained how the citric acid with the sour lemon, natural sour lemon, hits the lingual nerve on top of the tongue, middle of the top of the tongue. The automatic reflex reaction of the body is adrenaline. Boop, you're up. Nothing in your system.
Right.
Your own body, waking the body.
Right.
As simple as the Heimlich maneuver.
Right.
So I did. I cut up lemons and never had the problem again. Then I went into the product business along with the entertainment business. I love creating problem-solving products, and we've done many, many through the years. I won't get into it, but many, many through the years. A few years ago is when I started finding out all the facts about drowsy driving.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, well, why can't we, if it's
That's
citric acid and sour lemon and water, maybe a little bit of preservative I said, why can't we recreate that in a spray drop and just hit the lingual nerve right on?
Right.
I call up Hank. He said, he says, oh my God. He says, not only will it work better, he said, you will save more lives in the Heimlich maneuver. You absolutely have to do this. So we did. We created Alert Drops, which is which is basically a hard hit of citric acid, a hard hit of sour lemon, water, a little bit of preservative, and that's it. You spray a couple of sprays on the middle of your tongue, and boom, you're awake, you're alert. You're not going to kill yourself. Nothing in your system. Doesn't screw up your sleep pattern. It's old science, by the way. If you go to alertdrops.com, that's alertdrops.com, you'll read about it, why it works. You'll see MIT did studies on the lingual nerve years ago. This is very old science, just placed in a very convenient way of distributing.
And no side effects that are going to make you feel worse than you started with.
It's a
like
lemon.
The advertisement.
It's a lemon. It's on adrenaline. Yeah, it's a lemon on adrenaline.
So if I do it now, is it going to do anything to me?
Yeah, just do a couple in the middle
if
of your
I'm pretty
tongue.
awake, like, am I going to change personality?
No, you'll just feel the
experiment.
adrenaline rush right in the middle of your tongue, couple of sprays.
Middle of my tongue.
Yeah.
Ah, I missed.
Okay. Did it come out?
I have a faulty plunger.
Let me see. You're kidding.
No. Oh, the one that you bring.
Oh,
That's
my
okay.
God.
That's okay. That's all right.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm
I
sorry.
actually have one right here, and I'm going to put.
No. That won't. Anyway.
I did get it. It's very.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just lemon. It's
Do you
concentrated
know what it is?
lemon.
No, you know what it is?
What?
I screwed up. This one's empty. This was mine in the car, and I had another one that was, and I got it mixed up.
That's okay.
Is that hysterical?
That is hysterical.
So
this
it's
is
empty.
a blooper. It wasn't. It's not a defect.
Anyway, you go like this, a couple, and you're up and you're ready. And we found out
How
that,
long does it last?
Well, everybody's different.
Okay.
Every body is, everyone has a different effect. But we found it with subject groups, it was an average of 30 minutes to an hour. And then if you need some more, do it again. Nothing to harm you. It's natural.
Right.
And you're not going to go home and screw up your sleep pattern.
Well,
that is so embarrassing.
No. Nothing to be embarrassed about. No.
But anyway, so already we've been honored by the United States Congress, by the California State Senate, by the City of LA. The LA Fire Department and the LA Sheriff's Department had a Drowsy Driving Awareness Day on PCH, and we were handing out alert drops at red lights to drivers with information.
Oh, that's a great
I mean, it's a
idea.
powerful product.
It
is
is.
saving. If you go to alertdrops.com, you'll read testimonials. If you go to amazon.com, where it's sold, you can get in all sorts of different variations, 12 packs, 6 packs, 2 packs, 1. But you'll just read those reviews
Right.
of how it's helped people.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Very, very important. We can stop this catastrophic problem today.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you for this time because
No,
somebody
absolutely.
out there's life is safe today.
Well, the Asian Oprah giveaway is going to be the one that's in the car. I'm going to go out and get it, and then I'll be able to give that away on the air.
I'll be
And then-
sending you.
and then-
Carlin will be sending you many.
Okay, that would be great because it is, and there's, you said it. I love problem-solving products.
Yes.
So for that, not because you were on Happy Days, even though that was pretty cool, but just for that, because I think that is one of the most important things that humankind can participate in, right?
Can you imagine?
Using our brains and our ingenuity and our
Yeah.
creativity to save someone something. So you get, wait for it, you get Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award. That's what I wanted to give you.
Thank you. Well, everyone asks, they ask, what's your favorite thing? I actually think everything I've done has led up to this. Honestly, people are alive.
Because of
this.
that.
I know for a fact.
Yeah. And doesn't that feel fabulous?
Well, it feels, it's paying Dr. Heimlich forward. Talk about his instincts. I talked to him. He passed away last December 17th.
Sorry.
Almost a year ago. Well, he was 96. What a life,
Yeah.
But
He's with my dad.
couple of weeks before, we, in one of the last parts of the conversation, he said, "You get this out to everybody," and he reiterated, "It will save more lives than maneuver. You get this out." It's in honor of him. Without his knowledge and brilliance, I wouldn't have known.
Right.
All I
Right.
did was have a common sense idea. He was the one that was brilliant enough to understand how the body worked and caring enough.
So he was an
to
MD.
spread the word. Oh, he was
MD.
He was an MD.
How did he come up with the maneuver?
Some personal people had personal problems with choking to death. But his wife was Jane Heimlich. And Jane was one of Arthur Murray's twin daughters.
Oh.
And Jane was a pioneer in alternative medicine. She wrote the book, What Your Doctor Doesn't Tell You. And she was a big influence on Dr. Heimlich. He was head of the Cincinnati Jewish Hospital. He was a real Western medicine doctor for
Right.
years.
Traditional.
Traditional and huge doctor.
Yeah.
But she's the one that inspired him to look a little further. She's the one that said, not everything has to be with a knife and drugs.
Right.
And that started his research into how the body helps the body. And all that and the Heimlich maneuver came from that. He looked for simple, basic ways of solving problems.
That's so good.
And this here, and you look it up, it's like old science. It's not like he just gave me the knowledge of what's already been researched. He researched it.
Yeah.
There's studies done years ago. And then all I did was find a more convenient way to distribute it. But because
and they're not even they're not expensive. Like anybody can get one.
Oh my God! It's like it's over a month's supply for under $10. You buy a Starbucks for $5.
That's ridiculous.
And if you buy 12, sometimes people buy 12 packs for their companies or people, it's $4 a unit. It's like nothing, and it lasts a month. There's over 80 sprays. So we try to make it where it's really gettable, reasonable, and long lasting.
That's awesome.
And every car. Not only that, construction sites are buying it.
Good.
Because they need to be alert.
Right.
And they need to be safe. We're selling out to hospital staffs because
Good.
they're up all night.
Right.
And EMTs, doctors, any job where you need to be alert and safe, and especially entertainment business.
Yeah.
Our hours are crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
so-
even I know when I'm driving back to pick up my kid, I live in Orange County, just coming from here, and I'm up for the show.
Right.
And by the time I'm halfway back, I feel that real drop in adrenaline. And I'm like, if I didn't get a really good night's sleep, I will feel drowsy.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
And I will have to pull over. I've pulled over by the time I get to IKEA and just put my head back
But
because
even that's not safe.
it's not safe.
Because you're going to wake up. You know,
Right.
do you ever drive and you're driving and all of a sudden you don't remember how you got there?
Yeah.
That's
It's,
sleeping. No,
that was in my college days too.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But there's a name for it. But it's basically you're asleep with your eyes open. You're asleep with your eyes open. I will run to the car and get you some for your trip tonight.
Yeah.
I promise you. I will run to the car and get you
I should
some.
be okay.
You
I got
need
a good
to.
night's sleep last night. Although I
But
just
still-
flew in from San Francisco.
All I'm saying
so.
is if you ever need just a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
do it.
No. I did get a little that accidentally went that way.
Yeah, I saw it. It's good for the skin too.
and it does definitely have a kick.
Oh yeah.
So-
well, you haven't felt. You'll feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
But it's not a kick. I mean, what you felt is adrenaline. Boop.
Natural.
Natural
it's a
adrenaline.
stimulant
It
to
stimulates
the
the
natural
lingual nerve.
adrenaline.
It's just like going to the doctor when they have the rubber mallet and they test your
Right.
reflexes. It's the same thing here. It's a reflex reaction.
Is it in 7-Eleven? Because I would think
Not
that
yet.
that would be like totally
It will
a great
absolutely will.
place.
But you know, if you know commerce, commerce is its own beast, and you need to bring such awareness and such demand for it before you go in, or they'll kill your product. So you don't know. It needs to be placed properly. And you need to have the power of the public with you when you go in. We're getting close.
Okay.
We're getting close.
As seen on TV?
No.
No?
No.
You don't want
As
to
seen
do
on
that?
TV, actually, that's become kind of a dinosaur.
Okay.
What's working for us? I mean, we're on our fourth run. It's products blowing out.
Okay.
Is we do Facebook ads, but we do them. We do all these. If you look, really cute video ads and things that we just place properly.
Yeah.
And we do Amazon ads, and I'll tell you, it beats the heck out of as seen on TV.
Okay.
And we're just doing tremendous sales.
Yeah. I was
from
just...
our-
I know someone on there, and I know someone on QVC, so that's why I was asking.
We were on QVC for a
Great.
decade.
You were
10
okay.
years.
Okay.
We probably
cool.
had 30 products on QVC through the years.
Okay.
And that's fine. And QVC is great. It's fun. That ain't the future
Right.
at all.
It's all.
The future. The future's. I mean, internet. Internet is one powerful tool used
It is.
positively.
It
yeah.
is. It
very,
is, and
very,
it's a good
very
thing.
powerful. if Done right. You can waste a lot of time on it, but you can also do some great things on it.
And it is an occupational hazard of mine to become friends with past guests. And Anson is incredible. He continues to, I don't know, he's just like one of those rare, non-cynical, non-jaded, most of the time, positive, balanced, and he does give credit absolutely to Gary Marshall and the mentorship that he had and the learning he had. And I think it's just wonderful. So happy holidays to you, Anson. And thank you so much for continuing to do the work that you do. So that's it for today's show, number 584. Here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here, reporting live in my living room during the pandemic, reminding you that it's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace, and have the best day ever.